Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today, we're going to be discussing the ongoing conflict in Ukraine and the potential consequences that may result from it. A year ago, it was suggested that our hope lay with the Germans, who would put their foot down and say that the chaos in Europe was too much to handle. However, the situation has not improved, and the pressure continues to mount while Germany has been subsidizing energy costs and helping to relieve political pressure. This is only a stopgap measure. Eventually, they will need to print money or borrow it from someone to pay for all of it. Furthermore, the German population is unhappy with their foreign minister, who has been criticizing the Russians and making threats. The German people have no interest in being at war with anyone, let alone Russia. The situation in Ukraine is dire, and the Ukrainian military is getting exhausted. The fighting is brutal, and many are being killed or flown to pieces by artillery shells. The situation has escalated to the point where collapse is inevitable. The Russians may be forced to intervene, and if they do, they will need to march several 100,000 troops all the way to the Polish border to end the war. This could lead to further conflict and the potential dismemberment of the state. However, the Europeans may step in and say enough is enough. They do not want to engage in unrelenting insurgent warfare in western Ukraine. It is a tough place to run an insurgency, and it could become a set of targets for Russian attack weapons. The Ukrainian military has been relying heavily on Western support to fight against the Russian-backed separatists in the Donbas region. The Ukrainian military has been struggling with outdated equipment and a lack of resources for years. And the question arises, has Western support made a difference in the Ukrainian military's capabilities? Well, the answer to that question is not a straightforward one. On one hand, Western support has been crucial in helping the Ukrainian military to modernize its forces. The United States, Canada, and other Western countries have provided Ukraine with lethal aid, including anti-tank missiles, artillery, and other equipment that has helped the Ukrainian military to push back against the separatists. However, despite the support from the West, the Ukrainian military is still struggling to fight against the Russian-backed separatists. The Ukrainian military's outdated equipment and lack of resources have hindered its ability to fight effectively, and the conflict is far from over. Moreover, the issue of corruption has also plagued the Ukrainian military, with reports of officials siphoning off aid money and equipment for personal gain. This has further weakened the Ukrainian military's capabilities and has raised questions about the effectiveness of Western support. The ongoing conflict in Ukraine has taken a devastating toll on the country and its people. Since the outbreak of violence in 2014, thousands of Ukrainian soldiers and civilians have lost their lives. It's hard to put into words the pain of losing a brother in arms. We fight for our country and for each other, and when we lose someone, it's like losing a family member. The conflict has also caused significant damage to towns and cities across Ukraine. Homes, schools, and hospitals have been destroyed, leaving many without a place to live or seek medical care. I never imagined that my home would be destroyed like this. We had to flee in the middle of the night with nothing but the clothes on our backs. It's been a struggle to find shelter and food for my family. Even hospitals have not been spared from the violence. Medical professionals have had to work under unimaginable conditions, often with limited resources and equipment. It's heartbreaking to see so many young people come through our doors with serious injuries. We do everything we can to save their lives, but the toll on our staff and resources is immense. The human toll of the conflict in Ukraine cannot be measured in numbers alone. Behind every casualty is a family and a community forever changed by the violence. It is up to all of us to work towards a peaceful resolution and to honor the sacrifices made by those affected by the conflict. The conflict in Ukraine is not just a domestic issue. It has become a battleground for various foreign powers who are trying to advance their interests in the region. Germany has been a key player in the conflict, pushing for a diplomatic solution to the crisis. Chancellor Angela Merkel has played a key role in negotiating the Minsk agreements, which aim to bring an end to the fighting in eastern Ukraine. The United States has also been involved in the conflict, providing military and economic assistance to Ukraine. This has been seen as a way of countering Russian influence in the region and also advancing American interests. Russia has also been a key player in the conflict, annexing Crimea in 2014 and supporting separatist rebels in eastern Ukraine. The conflict has been seen as a way for Russia to assert its influence in the region and counter Western influence. However, it is the people of Ukraine who are paying the price for this conflict. The fighting has resulted in thousands of deaths and the displacement of millions of people. And despite the involvement of various foreign powers, a lasting peace in the region remains elusive. As the conflict in Ukraine continues, it serves as a reminder of the complex web of interests and alliances that shape global politics, and it highlights the need for diplomatic solutions that prioritize the well-being of the people affected by these conflicts. The ongoing conflict in Ukraine has the potential to destabilize the entire region, and it's important to understand the broader implications of this. First, let's look at the impact on neighboring countries like Poland and Romania. Both countries have expressed concerns over the conflict and have been increasing their defense spending in response. This is because if the conflict were to spill over into these countries, it could have disastrous consequences. Furthermore, the potential for the conflict to spread to other regions cannot be ignored. The conflict has already drawn in international actors like Russia and the United States, and if it were to escalate, it could lead to a wider conflict with global implications. Another issue is the impact of the conflict on the stability of the European Union. The conflict has strained relations between EU member states and has highlighted divisions within the organization. It also poses a threat to the EU's energy security, as much of Europe's natural gas comes from Russia, which has been using energy as a tool of political pressure in the conflict. The impact of the conflict in Ukraine on regional stability cannot be overstated. It has the potential to destabilize neighboring countries, lead to a wider conflict, and strain relations within the European Union. It's important that the international community works to find a peaceful resolution to the conflict in order to prevent these worst-case scenarios from becoming a reality. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.